Hello. Have you ever had to use your imagination to write a story? Just right. This is called Judy and the Volcano. I like pictures. There we go. When it comes to writing stories, there's no doubt about who is going to get top marks. It's Madeline Corsi. Always Madeline Corsi. I can't stand it. Mrs. Be the Best You Can always says, Madeline's got imagination. Well, so what? I've got it too. Once I wrote my whole story in invisible ink. All Madeline's got is fairies and elves on the brain. Well, I've never seen a fairy yet. I wish I could. But she's so smart, like that story she wrote where she was fed honey-bun spoons by 9 fairies in dresses made of cobwebs. What I wanted to know was, where was the spider while all this was going on? Ooh. Now, if she had something real like a good volcano in that story, or a gorilla, then it would be exciting. Everybody's seen a gorilla and everybody's seen a volcano. It's just possible that a volcano might erupt at any minute in the playground, but that's called geography. And it was imagination that made me put the rubber spider in Madeline's desk with a message saying, "Give me back the cobwebs." I was given detention. Mrs. Be the Best You Can said I was to stay in every lunchtime until I'd written a decent story. Okay. It's not easy to write a story when all you can hear is everybody else in the world having fun. It's not easy when the page is blank and you're hungry and everybody else has already had lunch. And when you notice Mrs. Be the Best You Can looks like an iguana. And that awful clock says you've only 10 minutes left and you can't think of anything to write. I tell you, it's not easy. And then Madeline comes up to you and smiles and says, "I forgive you, Judy Marks." Well, really, if it wasn't for Madeline Corsi being so good, I wouldn't be in this mess. On the second lunchtime, when everyone else was playing adventure games, I wrote, "My name's Judy Marks, and I couldn't think of anything to write after that. Then I put, "I'm caught in the worst storm the world has ever seen." And I'm the only one who can rescue all the children from the giant iguana. But I didn't say that all the children look like Madeline Corsi and the iguana look like you know who. This was going to be fun, getting to be fun. But I couldn't think what to write next. I wanted to put a gorilla into the story and maybe a volcano, but it was too hard to think how. After lunch, Madeline Corsi said to me, "I hope your story is good, Judy Marks, so you can come and play tomorrow." And I said, "The story's terrific." But somehow I knew she thought I was just being imaginative. Oh boy. The next day, I wrote that giant tree vines had grown around my legs and arms, and the volcano was spurting red hot lava around the island, and all the children were yelling out, "Save us, Judy Marks." I had a good time to stay just where I was. A good mind. After lunch, Madeline Corsi came in and slipped me 2 chocolate chip biscuits under the desk. You know she isn't really so bad. She can't help being good. I decided I'd rescue her after all. Then Mrs. Be the Best You Can suddenly said, "What's that you've got in your hands, Judy Marks?" That's when I decided the iguana had to go. I imagined rain pouring down on the hot lava and turning into great clouds of hissing steam. I made one gigantic effort to break the vines with my enormous strength. Then the iguana appeared and lunchtime was over, and everybody came into class looking very happy with themselves. That was okay because I was beginning to feel very happy with myself, too. Madeline asked me how my story was going, and I told her that Mrs. Be the Best You Can was an iguana and I was about to trap her. We both giggled, but then Mrs. Be the Best You Can trapped both of us and said, "You two girls come out the front." Caught again. Oops, sorry. She said, "Tomorrow I want you and Madeline to read your stories to the school assembly." And then she smiled. Odd, when Mrs. Be the Best You Can smiles, she doesn't look like an iguana at all. The iguana just disappears. It says, write a story. Make sure you use your imagination on the board. Oh boy. So that afternoon I wrote that I dammed up all the rivers on the island and stopped the lava from causing any harm. The children were safe and the iguana was free to roam on its own land. After all, iguanas aren't so bad. The 2 gold stars for Madeline and me were nearly as exciting as everyone clapping. I couldn't wait to get started on my new story. It's about a gorilla who rescues 2 famous writers from a giant cobweb. Thank you. Have a great day.